and welcome to the world of Apocalypse Now. I'm Professor Redwood, but everyone calls me the Pokemon Professor. My meeting with this region's champion, one Mr. Tumison, did not go as expected. Not least of which because he didn't know it was going to happen and did not appreciate my excellent Shibari work. Once he calmed down, I was hoping he would be a bit more rational. Unfortunately, rational doesn't seem to be on the table with this man. At first, he didn't seem to understand that Articuno's attack had happened, or maybe he did understand that it was a problem. And then, once he realized that it in fact had happened, he started listing in numerical order all the potential benefits of the Mosiev region having suffered this attack. When questioned about what would happen should the attacks continue and spread into this region, he was certain he and his Elite Four could counteract the legendary Pokemon if they came and keep the casualties to a minimum. A few million, just enough to get their hair mussed. While I realize I haven't been paying the closest attention to the champions as of late, I had no idea this was the level of imbecile I would be dealing with. I left the champion in the trunk of my car while I attempted to contact his Elite Four and see if they might be slightly more rational. The first I met with was an individual by the name of Ripper. No last name, no first name, just Ripper. When I first spoke with him and he talked about the purity of his fluids, I took him for a water-type trainer. When I realized he was talking about his own personal fluids, I got the hell out of there and have not tried to contact any of the Elite Four members since. I may have been somewhat lax as of late in keeping an eye on the champions. I had thought the world had become somewhat more tame and didn't need such close observation. I had thought that I could simply retreat into the world of academia. Apparently, I was wrong. I'll have to do something about this. Maybe another coup. At the very least, I'm going to need to survey all the champions and the respective Elite Fours to see if they're all like this. Oh dear. But that is a problem for tomorrow's Redwood. In our last episode, our three heroes geared up to take on Zapdos. After conferring with the Steel Legion's Primus as to their role, they went and aided Team Yell in getting all their Pokemon and supplies to the battlefield, Aspire, in the middle of what is currently the region of La Sereca. There, Lux confronted her father for answers on what had caused the apocalypse, and he promised that should they both survive the battle, he would give them to her. After that, there was nothing left but final preparations and dispositions. Lux and Azriel will be on the front line defensive positions. Meanwhile, Chomper will be with the quick reaction teams dealing with all the mess caused by Zapdos' arrival in the region. All that's left is for them to go head to head with a legend. So, it's time to see what the next batch of recordings will reveal to us about the future as we go into episode 10 of Apocalypse Now.
So when we last left our heroes, you guys had been assigned to your various groups for the fight against Zapdos. Do you guys go directly to your groups, or do you want to do anything before then?
I don't think so. Apart from making sure that we're all geared up, we're good.
Yeah, that was... Do we have health potions for our Pokemon, or...
You have what you brought with you. Now that you've gotten access to potions, you can declare that your supplies are potions.
Okay, so we have as many potions as we have supplies.
Correct.
Okay, so we've got a good store. I didn't use up all my supplies last time getting Pokemon.
Or we have as many RPGs as we have supplies.
Yes, or as many lightning rods as you have supplies. Anything that's not a Pokeball, you can just convert your supplies into. Some things might require more than one supply.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so you all go to your various and sundry groups. The front line is being led by the leader of the Mensheviks, but Ginormous and Lux's father are also there. Obviously, Lux's father is kind of doing his own thing, with Ginormous as the second in command.
Second in command to Lux's father?
No, so the chain of command is, there's the Menshevik at the top, Ginormous, who is commanding everyone else. If something happens to the current leader, then Ginormous will probably take over, since, as mentioned before, Lux's father is doing his own thing. So yeah, you go to the place where the frontliners are grouping up. Ginormous trades nods with you all. The leader of the group says, "Thank you all for coming today. It is an honor to fight alongside you. Now, I will, for the most part, be trusting you to know where you can do the most good, but I would like everyone to tell me which Pokemon they are bringing today and how they think that they would be best used in case we need to set up any intergroup support systems." The people start stepping forward and rattling off the Pokemon they have. You are somewhat alarmed to know that the Pokeballs you were transporting for Team Yell were full of mutant electrodes, and they are planning on using their lacrosse sticks along with the electrodes as basically anti-air artillery. Beyond that, I will keep things flexible, so if you guys want to make a narrative declaration that there's a certain group or certain Pokemon here, then you will be free to do so. Oh well, one other thing I will establish, several of your father's people step forward and say that they have Pokemon with healing moves.
My partner Azrael and I will be acting as a unit. He has a Rhydon with Lightning Rod, and I have a Jolteon with Volt Absorb. Between the two of us, we should be able to redirect and absorb anything Zapdos can throw at us, at least as far as his lightning goes.
That's good to know, but I would advise you not to put too much stock in such abilities. Zapdos' lightning is significantly more powerful than what the ordinary physical abilities of Pokemon are meant to deal with, and such defenses have been overwhelmed in these fights in the past.
Of course they have.
Do you have any other Pokemon that may be of use here?
I have a Braixen and a Sableye.
I have my Rhydon and a Skarmory.
And Blink.
I also have an Abra, but I'm not sure how much use he will be in this fight.
In that case, would you object to mostly being a runner, delivering messages, bringing the injured to the medics, etc.?
The only problem is if you want my Rhydon on the front lines, he's not going to listen to anybody but me.
We'll see if we can work around that. Cool. Then, Adam, you find yourself in a similar position. Your group is being led by a member of the Steel Legion, and he is likewise asking what Pokemon you're bringing and where you think you'll do the most good.
Well, all I've really thought of so far is I have the Gibbile mutated, of course. Like me! He knows dig, I imagine he could put up some trenches, maybe grant the people on the ground some cover from Zapdos' lightning. Other than him, I have a Toxtricity, low-key. He's, I'm not sure what he could do, but he's here.
That's good to hear. If you want to get with the digging team, and he gestures at a group with some other ground-type Pokemon, and start digging fire breaks and trenches to divert the glow, then that sounds like it would be a pretty good fit for you.
That does sound good. I'm glow-resistant as it is.
So just as a reminder, you are not resistant to the gaseous form of glow. Okay. With that, you guys spend the last few minutes frantically getting in order, and then the storm hits. You watch as the flying group goes up to intercept the storm front, whipped up by Zapdos, led by Jeffrediah, and almost as soon as they enter the storm clouds, you can see the lightning growing more frequent and more intense. And in the distance, you think you can hear the screams of a giant bird. As the flyers begin to engage, the ground-based artillery also starts aiming and eventually lobbing shells into the storm cloud, until finally the cloud is blown away and you can see the storm bird itself, Zapdos, raining lightning down on the land where you make your homes. So what do you do during the first phase of the battle here? It is mostly up to the flyers and artillerists, so for the most part you are, if you want to take some opportunistic shots with your Pokemon, you of course can, but for the most part your job is supporting them.
I'm gonna have Prospero and Hecate firing off ranged attacks. Caliban is currently my strongest Pokemon, but he's definitely more of a close-range physical fighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Prospero firing off Baby Doll Eyes to weaken Zapdos, and meanwhile Hecate is going to be putting up a light screen in order to give us another layer of protection against the lightning.
Okay, yeah, you are in good company. There are a number of other light screens going up, as well as protects and other defensive techniques. You can even see protecting the artillery camp. Yeah, the Primus of Team Yell raising the barrier known as the King's Shield, as one artillery shell lands particularly close to Zapdos, and the Aegis Slash effortlessly diverts the retaliatory lightning bolt the bird sends its way. As for your own attacks, roll...
These would both be raid rolls since they're not up close and personal.
Okay.
Okay, so Prospero gets a 6, and Hecate, well, that's a 6, but I keep hoping that we'll finally get that crit that we're looking for, because now I'm rolling more dice, but it doesn't seem to be happening yet. Either way, that's 1-6 for each of them. Prospero using Baby Doll Eyes to try and weaken it, and Hecate using Light Screen to try and give us another layer of defense.
Okay. Yeah, the light screen you don't need to roll for. Remind me, what does Baby Doll Eyes do?
It weakens special attacks, so the lightning bolts that Zapdos is throwing around would get weaker.
Okay, and it looks like Baby Doll Eyes is just like you give them puppy eyes and that makes them pull their punches.
Pretty much.
I'm just gonna gloss over how that's supposed to work diegetically. But yes, you are doing what you can to protect your group from the intermittent lightning bolts that Zapdos is throwing your way. And as you are doing this, you can feel everything blur, and then it's washed out in grayscale, and then everything starts moving differently. Things that were moving slowly, like the artillery shells and your own Pokemon's attacks, speed up, while things that were moving quickly before, such as critically Zapdos and his own attacks, slow down. Azrael, you have been watching Lux's father, so you realize that you have watched his Rheonculus using the move Trick Room. In-game, it reverses priority.
Oh, okay.
What it actually does is it reverses the effect of your speed stat. So the higher your speed stat, the lower you are in the order of priority. And since Zapdos is way faster than anything we've got, it's going to be moving last.
But your Jolteon is going to be slow.
Prospero's going to be pretty slow. Hecate too, for that matter. On the plus side, your Rhydon's probably the fastest thing on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Azrael would understand the tactical necessity for this maneuver.
So would Lux, for that matter. Arceus, damn it, I hate it when he fucks with speed like this. But it's probably for the best. Hey, Azrael, your Rhydon's probably the fastest thing on the field right now. Get it using some of those super effective rock type attacks.
Azrael will order Havoc into a position where that would be viable. How far away is Zapdos?
Whatever it is, it's in range.
Yeah, you'll be in range.
Alright, well, then that changes what I was about to say. So Azrael will hear what Lux is saying, he'll look at Havoc and say, "You're up, Smackdown." And Havoc will reach down, just jam his hands into the ground, pull up a rock, cock it, and throw it. What am I rolling for this?
Wreck.
Gotcha. Okay, so 3 in Wreck to throw a rock. Here we go. I got a 6 in there. The other 2 are 3s.
Fantastic. So you don't actually hit Zapdos with a rock, but you do see it swerve out of the way to avoid the rock, which does put it in exposed position to take some fire from the flying groups.
Havoc becomes visibly angry at the fact that he missed.
Azrael, Havoc seems to be ever just slightly temperamental.
oddly, his feelings mirror my own.
Great, so next time I want to know what you're thinking, I'll just ask Havoc.
Probably a better talker than me.
Cuter, too.
With that, the first wing of flyers pulls off their attack, and the artillery groups step up their barrage as they come back for medical treatment, and the second group is on their way out. Adam, what is Chomper doing during this phase of the battle?
Chomper at the moment is directing Richter to dig up some trenches, get some piles of dirt shored up intermittently so they can be used to douse fires. Blitz, Chomper's toxicity in the meantime, is helping to carry some supplies and some sandbags from spot to spot. Chomper's also carrying some stuff and helping to direct the two.
So that is what you are doing when a herd of Rhydon stampedes into your lines. What do?
Oh, fuck. Richter, dig a line. Make them fall in line and tumble in and not crash into us. Dig, Billy, dig.
You think these might be from the same group that Azrael caught Havoc in. And if you are trying to get him to dig a trench, go ahead and roll rec.
And that is a 5. Also, is the situation desperate or is it controlled?
It is risky for you. It's controlled for the others. So yeah, pick from the list. With a 5, you can suffer harm, a complication occurs, reduced effect, or end up in a desperate position.
I guess end up in a desperate position? So I kind of want that XP.
Then you and Richter see this ahead of the group, and you head out to dig this trench. You successfully divert the Rhydon, but you do end up separated from the group and more than a little isolated, more than you would like to be. Okay, so back to the frontliners. Zapdos has drawn closer, the bolts of lightning are coming faster and more frequently. What do you do?
I am going to use the second of my control of field type effects. I'm going to have Hecate use Fire Spin to try and trap Zapdos in a cage of fire. And I'm going to have Prospero use Baby Doll Eyes because it's his only ranged attack.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Yeah, finally got a crit.
Woo. Okay, great.
Well, I didn't. Hecate did. Hecate pulls her wand out of her tail. It looks like a radial antenna, and she points it at Zapdos. Her eyes catch fire, and she looks at it intently before saying, "Breaks!" And just like that, a spinning vortex of fire materializes around Zapdos, spinning around it in order to form a cage to stop it from moving forward, and every inch forward it gets, it's following it so that it's effectively trapped inside this giant cage of fire.
As people take in what's happened and realize that Zapdos is trapped, a chorus of cheers goes up, and you get several slaps on the back and offers to buy you drinks later as the artillery zeroes in on Zapdos and the flyers begin making, for lack of a better word, strafing runs on its position. What does Azrael do?
All right. Tell me if this would work. If I use Blink on Havoc's back to teleport above Zapdos, throw a smackdown from above, and then Blink teleport him back to the ground, what would I have to do?
Okay, so you are going to have him pick up a rock, have Blink teleport him to above Zapdos, throw the rock, and then Blink teleports him back to the ground.
Yes.
I love this. I love this. Alright, so yeah, all you need to do is roll rec for the accurate rock throwing.
Alright.
So I am going to give you -1 die because I don't think you've practiced this maneuver, and I don't think Rhydon would be, or Havoc would be, like, super jazzed about suddenly falling when he has spent his entire life with both / all 4 feet planted firmly on the ground.
Fair.
Can I advocate that he actually get a +1 die because at this point, Zapdos is stationary, so it's not a moving target.
Oh, that's the only reason why it's not -2 dice.
Cool.
Is there a devil's bargain or a way for the Pokemon to push themselves?
There is no way for the Pokemon to push themselves, but the devil's bargain is that Azrael gets a bolt of lightning thrown in his face.
How badly do you want EXP? Because that'll probably put you in desperate position.
I mean, I want it. Yeah, all right.
Okay, roll.
Still no fucking critical, but at least that got me the 6. I'm lucky because the other ones were a 1 and a 2.
Okay, great. You do manage to clip Zapdos' wings. The maneuver goes off absolutely perfectly. Unfortunately, the updraft from the fire spin that Zapdos is caught in does allow him to stay aloft, but I don't know if birds can, limp while flying, but if it's possible for a bird to favor a wing, you would say that Zapdos is favoring the wing that didn't just get hit with a giant rock.
Okay. And I get hit with lightning?
Yes! Zapdos screams at this insult, you would swear, if it was, intelligent, and sends a flurry of lightning bolts towards the front line, enough to break through all the protects and the King's Shield and so on, to destroy some of the artillery pieces and put you all in desperate position. Azrael in particular is going to be targeted for being out in the open when this happens, so you will take, I'll just say, a level 1 harm for now.
So level 1 lightning to face. Okay.
Lightly singed. Okay, so Adam, you have been separated from the group. You are out more or less on your own with Richter, and some smoke clouds from a burning forest nearby are starting to blow in on your position. What do?
Fuck. Am I completely in the forest?
You're near the forest. You aren't in it yet.
Yet, huh?
I mean, I say yet because if what you say is I run into the forest, then you'll be in the forest.
Yeah. Oh, hey, it's fire. Let me go check it out. Ooh, it's so warm.
I want to touch it.
I wonder if it has nerves. Anyway, what do indeed?
You could have Richter use Dig to create a fire break.
I don't know what the point would be, though. No one in this alliance is in the forest that we're aware of, and...
there are a bunch of people who just live in random places around the wastelands, so there might be someone who lives in this forest, but the forest fire is not of immediate concern to the defense. If you want to be a good boy and do the sensible and not at all narratively satisfying thing, you would just, head back towards this fire until you find your group.
Yeah, but I'm always so lawful good in TTRPGs. But no, Jumper's a bit of an ass. Yeah, we're going to go try to get back to the ground team.
Okay, roll trek.
Cool. That's just 1 then. And this is desperate position, right? Oof. That's a 2.
Okay, cool. So with a 2, while you are thinking about what you're doing, the smoke cloud does blow over you, and you can no longer use the spire to guide your way. You are walking in what you think is the right direction when you can see a human-shaped figure in the mist, but this shape is covered in what looks like the skulls and other assorted trophies of Pokemon, and you can feel your mutant component screaming at you in fight or flight. I don't know whether your Totodile is more inclined to flight or fight, but whichever one it is, you are feeling that as, pretty much as strongly as you've ever felt anything from your Pokemon components. And as this figure turns to face you, you can see that one of their arms is grotesquely oversized and mutilated and rippling with muscle, and it reaches almost to the ground. you can now feel the eyes of this figure on you. What do you do?
Hey, Azrael, I think Tycho just showed up.
Go ahead and roll read for me.
Alright, that's at a -1. No pips on that. Here we go. That is a 2.
Yeah, so you have no idea who this is. In fact, you think it might be someone from the fire control team.
This is so good. Should I mark XP for...
Oh, yes,
re-roll?
mark XP for that and for the trek roll. You are in super desperate position right now, and the fact that your character is blissfully unaware of that does not change the desperateness of your position.
Chopper sort of waves through the smoke and says, Hey, you with the fire control team?
No, that's sort of the opposite of my deal. And he steps forward, and you can start to make out some of his facial features. That's an interesting skull you've got there. It'll look good mounted over my wall. You are suddenly cognizant of about half a dozen other human figures surrounding you in the smoke.
Oh, fuck. Oh, so, I don't know, I feel a little offended when you say my skull's interesting. I'm not a big fan of it myself. Talk to Blitz. You Shockwave. Get these fuckers out of here.
Of note, Shockwave is a move that bypasses accuracy checks.
What does it do to grass dark types?
Aw, shit, these are Shiftry. Resistant to electric type attacks, but they would be weak to Blitz's poison type attacks.
I don't know if David would let me retcon that.
I am not going to let you retcon that because you don't know that these are shift trees. But you do now when the lightning cuts through the smoke and briefly illuminates some foliage at the end of one of these figures' hands. It doesn't do a whole lot. By the time you turn your gaze back to Tycho, he has melted back into the smoke.
Chopper's obviously looking around, doing 360s all over the place. Tell you what, Richter, it's your time to shine, buddy. Go ahead, dig us a straight line tunnel, just any direction. We just need to funnel these guys in one direction so they can only come at us in one direction. Go ahead, dig.
Okay, Richter hears your insistence that he just dig, and he starts to dig, and soon you have a big old hole.
That's impressive, Richter, but you need to go ahead, get us a little tunnel going on.
Yeah, no, you have a tunnel.
All right, Blitz, come on, into hole. I guess Chopper goes ahead and jumps in the hole, and with Richter taking point and scraping through the dirt as quickly as he can, Chopper and Blitz are going to go ahead and just be the rear guard in this little tunnel.
All right, go ahead and roll me track again.
For Chopper, that's a 3.
Okay, well, the good news is you get another XP.
Cool, I'll take that. The bad news?
The bad news is that the tunnel is going in the direction of the forest. What's the other group up to? Zapdos has managed to stage a desperate breakout of the fire spin and is headed straight for you guys.
Lux, seeing that Azrael is out in the open, is going to run out after him with Prospero right on her heels to absorb any attacks coming their way. And while she's doing that, she's going to call out to Hecate and say, Hecate, give us some cover. Hit it with a psychic. The idea being do damage, disrupt, distract, divert its attention away so that we can get to Azrael.
Okay, gotcha. Go ahead and roll.
164, so 6.
Okay, you do manage to distract Zapdos enough to divert its attention. For the next full round, you will be at risky position.
Do I need to roll separately for my get to Azrael and pull him out of dodge roll, or is that going to be something for him to do?
That'll be a roll for him to make. Speaking of which...
So, is Zapdos still looking frail on one side?
Less so, but yes.
Azrael will look at Havoc and say one more time. He's not going to teleport him this time, but I want to use Smackdown and aim for that same side, that same wing.
Okay, roll.
4.
Okay, I'll give you a choice. Severe harm, serious complication, or reduced effect.
reduced effect.
Okay, yeah. You, just barely clip his wing and divert him a little, but he hasn't taken any damage.
Okay. Then as far as me getting out of dodge of all these crazy lightning bolts, what do I got?
Oh, that was your action for this round.
Okay, that's fine. Then I just stand there like Tim Robbins coming out of the tunnel in Shawshank Redemption, just arms wide open, Creed style.
Okay, cool.
Meanwhile, Lux has finally reached you and she's tugging on you, trying to pull you back towards the line and yelling at you. Come on, Azrael, now's not the time for this bullshit. And she's trying to grab Havoc by the collar as well and tug him along, but it's a fucking ride-on. Meanwhile, it's looking up at Zapdos like, you motherfucker, I hit you with a rock once. I had to be in the sky to do it, and I didn't like it, but I hit you, and I'm gonna do it again. Just you watch me.
Okay, going back to Chomper's day out, you are tunneling, and you find that Richter has been stopped by a root, and he starts to dig around the root when the root grabs him by the neck.
Fuck, Richter. Poison's good against grass, right?
Poison is super effective against grass.
Okay. Chopper, in the throes of desperation, is just going to bite the root.
Okay, so the root recoils slightly, and then...
I'm also going to poison the root and push myself.
Yeah, I figured. The root recoils a little, and then the root next to it swirls around in the air a little, and it conjures a ball of pinkish purple fire, which it lobs at Chomper. So go ahead and roll Wreck for that bite, and then based on how badly you roll, we'll see how this does.
It's gonna suck. That's a 3.
Okay, yeah, Richter does not manage to pull free, and you take a level 1 harm burned.
Alright.
Did he just get hit with a will-o-wisp?
Yes.
Oh shit, this is a fucking Trevenant.
Yep. And then you remember something about that forest near the spire being super cursed. And apparently that wasn't just because it was infested with Shiftry.
On the plus side, your bite is technically super effective.
Okay.
Anything else I can do this round?
Yeah, you can go ahead and take another action if you want. Let's see how deep we can dig.
Is Richter still bound?
Yes.
Okay. Can I cash in a supply? I only have 1, 2. For, I guess, a machete as a primitive weapon?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'll do that. So, Chopper is going to go ahead and produce a machete from within his jacket, and he's going to start chopping the root in order to unbind Richter.
Okay, go ahead and roll Wreck again.
Alright, that's a disadvantage again. This has been Chopper's no good, very bad day. Oh, that's still good. That's a 5.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you do manage to hack Chomper free, or, not Chomper, the other one.
Richter.
Yeah, so, one of the pokier branches gives you a little poke. You're gonna take another level 1 harm. Branch poked. Because there's a move called branch poke. Why would I not use that?
But yeah, I have 2 level 1 harms and now 1 level 2. Good fun.
Yeah, so last group, you are being dive bombed by a low tier god. What do?
Lux is going to call out to Braxian saying, give it another psychic. Just do damage. Break its brain if you have to. Just keep it off our backs long enough for me to get these 2 back to the fucking lines.
Okay, roll.
1-6.
Okay, and if you would like to roll boss for yourself to try to get Azrael moving.
I very much would.
Okay.
That's a 5.
Alright, Azrael, it's up to you how to parse that, but Lux is dragging you, and if you had to give the insistence with which she's dragging you a score out of 6, you would say it's about a 5. And what do you do?
Where are you dragging me?
I'm trying to drag you back into line. We're exposed out here. Haven't you ever heard that you never want to be the tallest thing out in a field in a lightning storm?
thought that was the whole point of having Havoc here. And how far are we from the line?
You're like 25 yards or so.
And I'll just say blink and then point at the line. And I'll use that as my action. We'll get us all out of here.
Okay, roll boss.
Roll boss.
Yeah.
Cool. That is disadvantage for me. Oh, 2 4s.
Okay, cool. Well,
Half of me makes it back.
no. Azrael's back in the line.
Uh-oh.
So Lux, you are being dive bombed by Zapdos. What do?
Did Havoc also make it back to the line, or is Havoc out there with Lux?
Yes, Havoc also made it back.
Oh, okay.
Lux holds up Prospero like Simba. Okay, I'm really hoping you can absorb this while I run backwards.
We're just gonna slow motion lightning bolt issuing from Zapdos to the tune of the Circle of Life toward Lux holding up this Jolteon with this 1,000-yard stare on its face.
Oh no, Prospero is giving it baby doll eyes while Lux runs backwards, so she's holding him up like a wide-eyed baby shield.
As you do with babies.
I don't have one, and this is probably good reason why I shouldn't be allowed one.
Okay, roll Sway for Jolteon, and then roll Raid for Lux.
I am a fun uncle. No one has called upon me to be a father yet. I'm not rolling Prospero's raid to use baby doll eyes like I was before, and my own wreck to see how I do running backwards.
Yes, that is how you're doing it.
Okay, Prospero gets a 6,
Good.
and I get a 3.
Okay, lucky for you, Zapdos decides that the members of Team Yell pelting it with exploding Voltorbs and Electrodes are a more tempting target, and peels off as you trip on a rock and faceplant on the ground.
I imagine they have a catapult with a big-ass lacrosse stick that just chucks the electrodes at it.
Yes. Why would you even ask such a silly question? Of course they have a giant-ass lacrosse stick built into a catapult.
On the plus side, those rolls filled up my stat advancement. Again.
So, Chomper, clowns to the left via jokers to the right, where by clowns I mean Shiftry, and by jokers I mean whatever the fuck they're called. Trevenant.
Remind me, did we unbind Richter yet from chopping up the roots with the machete?
Richter is free, yes.
Okay. Chopper is going to snap his human hands and point upwards and say to Richter, top side. Let's get up. We'll have to deal with the forest.
Okay, Richter digs straight up, and a moment later you find yourself looking up at a Trevenant glaring down at you.
Could I just say that wherever she is, Lux is lying on the ground staring up at the stormy sky, and she turns to Prospero and says, well, at least Chomper's safe.
Let's see. Trevenant, I guess, Chopper just sort of, as his head pokes up like a little gopher from the hole Richter just dug, he's going to pop back down, and Toxtricity or Blitz is going to pop up in his place, and he's going to use Venoshock.
Okay, alright.
Okay, so 2 there, and what do we got? That's a 6.
Alright, cool. Are you trying to just hurt the Trevenant, or are you trying to distract it while you can make your getaway?
Just get it out off our case.
Alright.
If you're looking for a visual for this, Blitz opens its mouth and fires off this stream of purplish effluence that splatters all over the Trevenant. It sizzles and burns into the tree, into the oddly shaped joints where the arms are, and it starts like hanging off.
Okay, yeah, so your Toxtricity pukes on the tree, and that distracts it enough for you guys to run.
Chopper gets his Pokemon out, out of the hole and hightails it out of there while flipping the Trevenant the bird.
Okay.
Because it's been too long since he's done it.
Alright. I almost don't want to do this and have mercy, but we need to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Roll Trek.
Okay. Just a general Trek roll.
I cannot possibly bring myself to end the grand debacle before its natural conclusion.
I'll go ahead and push myself for this for an extra die.
Okay.
So that will be a Resolve XP. That is a 4.
Okay, yeah, so your choice of severe harm, serious complication, or reduced effect.
Reduced effect would probably be the safest option, so that...
You're not in the forest anymore, but you're still in a cloud of smoke. So you have managed to get free of the forest, but you're still in the cloud of smoke. And let's hop over to Lux.
A note for the listener. What follows next is completely unedited and really just what happened when we recorded this episode originally.
You have just watched Zapdos fly directly at you, and after a visible hesitation, decide not to turn you into a cinder, and instead it zapped a couple of members of Team Yell. There were a few seconds where you could see their skeletons through their flesh meat, and it would have been pretty funny if not for the fact that they were some people you kind of knew from that one time, and they are now smoldering corpses.
Fucking son of a bitch. Okay, let's try this. Lux is gonna stand up from where she's laying on the ground. She is going to call out all 3 of her Pokemon, and she is going to have Braixen hit it with a Psychic to stop it in its place. Prospero, another Baby Doll Eyes to weaken it, and Caliban hit it with a Shadow Ball to do more damage. And she herself is going to pull out the Ultra Ball, one of her 2, and she's actually going to try this.
All right. Yeah, so roll the 3 of them, and for each 6 that you roll for them, Lux will get an additional die for her roll.
Okay.
And if you roll multiple 6s, then Lux gets multiple extra dice.
Okay. Okay. Braixen, Hecate. 1-6.
Okay.
Prospero, 5. Sableye, 1-6.
Okay, so just 1 extra die.
Can I push myself and or take a devil's bargain?
You can push yourself. What would be a good devil's bargain?
The gentleman up in the upper right-hand corner would like to suggest something.
Well, I'm in the left hand. What are you talking about? Anyway. A devil's bargain here could potentially be the attempt to capture Zapdos is noted and is interpreted as an attempt to shift the balance of power in the wasteland in Delmai's Ridge's favor.
That is very, very good. I like it a lot.
I mean, I would have assumed that would be a result no matter what happened. If I caught it, like, okay, so 3 dice.
Also, go ahead and mark. So you are taking the devil's bargain?
Well, am I pushing myself, or is it just the devil's bargain that's on the table? Because I would rather push myself than take the devil's bargain. And either one will get me up to 3 dice. Or if I take both, can I get 4?
I don't think you can take both. Yeah, no, you cannot take both.
Well, I've been saving up stress to like push myself for times when it was necessary, and this feels like one of those.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and push yourself then. I cannot see that.
There's 2 6s.
There's 3.
What the fuck? Holy shit!
Hang on.
Holy shit!
Hang on. Oh shit, now I need to completely rewrite this campaign.
Oh, fuck!
Holy shit!
Yeah, no, you capture Zapdos.
So does this episode just end with the figure of Zapdos being sucked into a Pokeball and dropping to the ground?
Holy shit!
Yes, it does.
I think Lux is just staring at it like... Did that just happen? Did Lux catch Zapdos? And not even a regular Zapdos. One that has been affected by whatever caused the apocalypse. Who even knows what's going on with that thing? There have been other trainers who've caught Zapdos. There have been trainers who've caught all 3 Stormbirds and trained them successfully. But this seems like a terrible time to try that. What is this going to do to the world they live in? What is this going to do with all their relationships? Damn it! I have questions. Either way, I would like to thank Monstercat for providing music for this episode. You can check them out at monstercat.com, where all the music used in this episode is available for royalty-free licensing. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and subscribe, as it will make it easier for other researchers to find us and aid us in building a timeline of the forthcoming apocalypse. If you would like to support this podcast and my fight from justice, you can do so at patreon.com/Pokemon Primeval, where you will find membership levels offering all sorts of benefits, including altering the space-time continuum so that you too can survive the apocalypse and show up in our recordings. You can even have Arceus GM a game session for you and your friends. Goodbye for now, and I will see you next time on Apocalypse Now, where our story continues.
So, my awesome 80s rock joke aside, what do you do? And yes, I am offended that none of you laughed at it.
Oh, I got it.
I know you got it, but you didn't laugh at it, which is the important part.